You know, hunters, being something of a gunner myself, I often look at build videos to help me make my own builds, giving me ideas and skills I never even considered before. But just casually browsing through the internet made me realize something that I never even thought of. How there were no wyvern snipe builds for heavy bowguns. I looked at the internet and YouTube for answers, searching and searching and searching, but I couldn't find a single build for sniping. So then I thought to myself,
fine, I'll do it myself.
Now this isn't actually a build video, it's more to bring into light how fun and amazing sniping can be in Monster Hunter. I'll be showing you the ups and the lows to sniping in Monster Hunter, and some general tips to make your sniping experience better. If you've never even seen sniping in Monster Hunter before, this is how it pretty much goes down. You spawn into the map, you locate your next victim.
I'm in danger!
You load your bowgun with malicious intent.
2 kids gon' die tonight!
Find the monster, get into a position that gets you absolutely caked up.
Oh shit.
And then shoot in the face without mercy. Now, with the summary out of the way, the biggest attraction to sniping is, of course, those juicy, succulent, fat damage numbers.
Nice.
Now hold your horses, hunters. I know those large numbers might excite you and all, but I gotta tell you a few things you gotta know before you start heading out there with just your random old bow gun and just start shooting wildlife. The first thing you should know, which you actually might have been able to see if you're paying attention, is while you're prone, you are pretty vulnerable to damage. Even loading up the round into your bow gun leaves you vulnerable for a few seconds, which a monster can easily take advantage of. Even if the shot hits the monster, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're safe. Another thing you're gonna have to account for when sniping is positioning yourself the right way to get the max amount of damage. Sniping is also not effective on all monsters. The really big and long boys are excellent for getting those delicious numbers, while smaller monsters like Rajang and the Raptors aren't really big enough to get that many hits in, resulting in less damage. And actually be careful with the Raptors, because apparently they can fucking do magic. Now everything I just said right now was pretty much the lows and kind of like the cautions of sniping. And now I bet you're wondering, oh okay, well now what are the ups? You know, what are the good things about it? And funny enough, it's actually the lows that are actually good about it. Now, I know you're probably confused. Don't make no fucking sense. But here, just listen to this for a second, okay? In the Monster Hunter community, people don't like to be the gunner because it kind of gets repetitive, you know, just a simple point and click, you know? People don't feel like there's any skill or anything like, you know, hard about it. You just sit in the back and point and shoot. And yes, honestly, it is kind of like that. But it can just kind of get repetitive. Not being in any danger, being in out of harm's way. And you're pretty much perfectly safe if you're in like a party or anything like that. But when you're sniping, that kind of just goes out the window. Because it's no longer just pointing and clicking and oh, there you go, a bunch of damage. You have to genuinely aim, because if you don't, well then you're just going to just not have any damage at all, really. And you are completely at the mercy of anything around you when you're prone or loading your weapon. There's a sense of danger to it that's really exciting, and I don't really feel that with anything. Also, in the beginning of the video, I mentioned how there were no builds for sniping. So it was genuinely super fun to make a build and see it actually become something amazing. Not the best out there, but actually really good and fun. And as I said, getting those huge damage number is just fantastic. If what I've been saying this whole episode has piqued your interest and you want to start sniping, then let me tell you some tips on what you should be looking for in terms of weapons and skills that will help you with that. Starting with the heavy bowgun, your sniping damage is dependent on your raw damage. So the bigger your raw damage is, the more damage output your sniping shot can do. However, the bowguns that usually have really high raw damage also have negative affinity, which I personally don't like. My personal favorite, and the one I've been using the entire video, is the Bashadin heavy bowgun. Decent raw, has a level 3 decoration slot, level 2 rampage slot, but the real reason why I'm using it is because the actual ammo it uses is pretty good actually. A lot of variety in terms of different type of ammo you can use. One of them being paralysis. which is really good when you can't get a monster to stand still. Shoot it with a few paralysis shots, line up your shot, and shoot it. It's a good, versatile, heavy bow gun. And if you're confused on why it doesn't actually look like I'm using that heavy bow gun in the clips I've been showing you, it's because it's a layered weapon. Now for the skills that would help you with sniping, you have your critical boost and your attack ups, but there are like 3 in this instance for sniping specifically that would actually help you more than you would think. The first skill is maximum might, which is when you stop moving for a few seconds, you get a 30% increase in affinity. And since you're going to be prone, you're going to be standing still for at least a few seconds, which means you're always going to get value out of this skill. The second skill is special ammo boost, which increases the power of your bowgun special ammo, which is your wyvern snipe shot. It's literally free 20% extra damage, and it's pretty easy to get this skill as a decoration. The third skill is focus, which gives you 20% faster gauge fill rate, which includes your wyvern snipe shot. Now I'll be honest, this one is kind of debatable on whether you should take it or not. It does help, but the recharge on the shot itself is pretty fast, with only being about a minute and 30 seconds for it to fully recharge. But you know, getting your shot back faster is pretty useful. Plus, you can max out the skill by just getting the Volcano Waste. The Volcano Waste also has really good decoration slots, so it could be just worth it, honestly. Oh, another skill I should actually probably mention is Burst. Since your shot's going to be going through the monster multiple times, and it's actually going to explode for a second time, Burst is actually a very good skill to have. And obviously, all the skills I've been mentioning so far, you should be getting them at their max level. And if you're curious, this is what my build looks like. Could definitely be better, but it's pretty comfortable and I like it. Yeah, so that's sniping. I honest to God really love sniping in this game. It really changes up how you play, creates a sense of danger that at the end game you might not be able to feel anymore. And overall, it's just super fun to use. And if you like sniping, you might want to stay tuned for the next video I upload, because the monster I'm going to be fighting will make it very hard for me to be able to snipe it. And with that being said, wait, what was that noise? Oh no.